Today we're going to be looking at the Canon 24-105 lens on the Sony A7iii Mark III mirrorless full-frame camera. Let's go! What's going on, everybody? Phil with Bull City Pictures here. Just wanted to show you how this Canon 24-105 lens works on the Sony A7iii Mark III full-frame mirrorless camera. I got this one for $400 refurbished from Canon. There are two versions. I got the variable aperture f3.5 to 5.6. There's also an f4 version. Either way, both of them are full-frame lenses, so it should pair up pretty well with the Sony A7 Mark III with an MC11 adapter, which you can kind of see here. So here's the adapter, here's the lens. What I'm going to do in this review is I'm going to show you some of the pictures that I took with it, some of the video that I took with it. We'll talk a little bit more about the pros and the cons, or the strengths and the weaknesses, after we see those pictures and videos. So I'll take you over, show you those videos, show you those pictures, then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about this Canon 24-105 on the Sony A7 Mark III. And here's the video. I just want to show you the video autofocus. Just trying to zoom in on this moth, not moving very quickly at all. It's a little bit windy, but you can see the focus is struggling. Here I'm basically just half pressing the shutter button, trying to get some focus on the moth. You can see definitely that this is struggling. It finally does get focused there at the end. Here's another, really just trying to focus on this flower. And yes, it's windy and the subject is moving quite a bit, but you can see how this is really struggling with autofocus. And in fact, in this clip, it never really gets focused properly. And, you know, whether this is a tough subject or not, you could debate. Certainly that might be the case. Here's one where I'm trying to focus in on a bee. Again, you can see the autofocus is not really doing very well. And I really didn't find that it did well under any circumstances, but I didn't go through an entire battery of tests. Just kind of tried to grab some, what I would consider to be typical video situations or scenarios that I might encounter. Here are some of the photos. You can see this is fairly close up. With that macro designation, you can get close to within about 1.25 feet or so. You can see the details good, the color's good. You will miss some of the native focusing modes. Here's one to show you the range. This is at 24, and then I'm going to show you one at 105, so zoomed in. So that 24 to 105 range is a really good range to walk around, but you will not have all of the native focusing modes that you would with a Sony lens. So that's something to consider as well. Here's where it missed focus. It focused on the stem instead of the bee. And again, that can happen at any time, really. So that was the video. Those were the pictures. For photography, I have to say, I think this is a really, really good lens. It's a great focal range, 24 to 105. It's a great lens if you just want to take one lens, just kind of walk around and get some general pictures. Same for video, although as you saw in those samples, the video autofocus was pretty poor. There's no continuous autofocus, which there would be if you had a Sigma lens with the Sigma MC11 adapter on the Sony. But this particular lens, because it's Canon, doesn't work with continuous video autofocus. And you can see how the autofocus really didn't do a very good job if you just try to kind of pull focus, if you want to call it pulling focus, but if you want to get focus with AF. The best bet if you're going to use this lens for video, which I wouldn't recommend, is to manually focus. There is an 18 to 105 and a 24 to 105 Sony lens that if you wanted to do video, native Sony lenses probably be a better choice for video. But for photography, for $400, this MC11 adapter is a $250 adapter, or you can get it on sale. Hopefully you can find it on sale for $150. I have this because I have other Canon lenses. I've got the 50mm f1.8 and 85mm f1.8. So I got this lens to go with that, and there wasn't any additional cost because I already had the adapter. But with the $250 adapter and the lens, you're still talking about $650, which is still less expensive than the Sony version of the 24 to 105. But you don't have that continuous autofocus. So the lens really takes great photos, very sharp. It's got that macro designation, so you can focus into up to like 1.3 feet away or 0.4 meters away. So you can get pretty close to the subject. You saw that in those photos. It's not a true macro lens, but it does a pretty good job. Overall, really happy with this lens, really happy with this lens and the combination of the MC11 and the Sony A7 III. Let me know what you think if you have this lens, or just what you think about the video that you saw and the photos that you saw. This is Phil with Bold City Pictures. Thanks so much for taking the time to view this video. I really do appreciate it. If you like what you saw here, please consider subscribing. If you do subscribe, please click on that bell icon, and that will allow you to be notified whenever we have a new video or we go live. We will see you again in the next video.